Well, everybody, how are we doing? We are well and truly back. It's press conference summary time as Daniel Farke sat in front of the national media and spoke about the upcoming game between Burnley and Leeds United. Now, if you'd like some more content, then you can head on over to the Patreon. By God, everybody, we have got a lot. We had your early release with myself and 450,000 subscriber Liam Visser, a good mate of mine. And we've also got Generation Leeds. That will be out tomorrow morning. That's going to be the drop. But we've got Across the Pond, that's out there as well. And a competition that is running till the end of this week, actually, on Sunday, where you can get yourself a free bit of merch by answering a simple question or doing a few simple things. But guys, obviously, www.oneleeds.com, we have brought on 3 authors this week, which is going to see the page really ignite. But if you want all of your latest news, head on over there. If you want some feature articles, some reactive articles, all that good stuff, head on over there. Okay, so what did we learn from Mr. Farke in this press conference? Well, Dan James is the notable absentee, 4 weeks out for United. Big blow, I'd feel, with Dan James. The reason behind that is pretty simple. When Farke normally gets Dan James into this side at championship level, he's very, very effective. I was looking forward to him coming back into the side, and we were speaking previously as well about Farke, announcing James and Bamford both coming back simultaneously, but that seems to not be the issue, and it seems to be the polar opposite. James and Bamford are both going to be out for this one. Bamford has made progress but isn't ready to feature for Leeds United. Dan James, unfortunately, 4 weeks out. It's a big blow for Leeds because that rotation option is absolutely devastating at championship level, and even a starting option, as we saw against Sheffield Wednesday, for someone like Dan James can be absolutely monumental. So yeah, a bit of a gutting one there, but overall I'm okay with it. He was sort of questioned on Max Verber. Beren Cross asked, is there going to be any, obviously because we know the Turkish side who don't like Fenerbahce, who won't be named on this channel, are interested in Max Verber, according to significant reports on their side this week. And obviously their transfer window is a little bit elongated and finishes at a different time, so they would be able to get him over the line. Listen, Daniel Farke said he's not even thought about that. So hopefully that's not going to be something that comes to fruition, because I do genuinely believe Max Verber has a point to prove this season, and has a position as well. There is a position with him at Leeds United, whether or not we go to a back 3 or whether or not we actually utilise him when potentially Pascal or Joe Rodon isn't available. So I do think there's an option to include Max Verber in proceedings across this season, 100%. But on him, obviously got a knock midweek when it came to Austria, but it looks like he's going to be sort of due essentially a fitness test, and we'll wait and see how that one plays out. Tanaka and Manor Solomon. These are the interesting ones, because what do we know? We know that they've played for Japan when it comes to Ao. We know that obviously when it comes to Manor, it's been Israeli, and even when you look at Brandon Aronson, he played, I think it was very late, wasn't it? It was almost siphoning into a Wednesday appearance, really, Wednesday morning. So they're going to be back on Friday. It looks like they're going to be back into training on Friday. Something to keep an eye on there. Are they going to be featuring for Leeds United after playing such a significant part? Obviously, Tanaka and Manor Solomon, key players for their countries. And obviously, Brendan Harrison played 66 minutes as well. So big players for their respective countries. Are they going to be coming straight back in? Well, I think now you look at it, and obviously Burnley are absolutely battered when it comes to injuries, but Leeds are at a point right now of which we're in a much better state than what they are. It's the perfect time to play Burnley. It really is. So, and at Ellen Road as well, it's a big opportunity for us to really stamp our authority down this division. Could we even climb into the top 2? What a start that would be when you look at games and points gained. But yeah, I think it's a big opportunity for Leeds this weekend. But I think, how you're looking at it is probably Allegro, who's also played international football. I think Farke said there's been about 11 to 13 players who've gone on international duty, including, some of the unders as well. But it's going to be a huge sort of sort of coming back to earth, really, for a lot of them, because they're going to be straight back into the fold. And can they perform at the level that they were performing before the international break? You would hope so. So yeah, I think late fitness calls, tiredness is going to be a thing with definitely with Tanaka and Solomon on Friday. Dan James is out for this one. Max Verber, a late fitness test. And how do you guys see this one going? For me, I mean, I've just been looking at a couple of the fixtures as well, you know, when it comes down to it. And Sunderland are away at Plymouth. West Bromwich Albion, I believe, are away from home as well. You guys might be able to correct me on that one, and might have a little bit more of an understanding on that. I've just come out to react immediately after the press conference, but I think overall, when you look at the general sphere of the Championship, Leeds, if we're able to get into the top 2 this weekend, we've then got Cardiff next week, we then go into the double game weeks. But Cardiff's a real opportunity to get some more points on the board, and with the fixtures that we've got coming up, you know, in the next 4 to 5 weeks, you're looking at Norwich, you're looking at Bristol City away, you're looking at Sheffield United away. There's some big games. So if you can accumulate as many points now as is humanly possible, it's going to give you a little bit of insurance for those games. Maybe for us to get a point instead of all 3, but I still see Leeds as going into these games, and you look at the depth that we've spoken about there. Potentially Max Verber might be out this weekend. Okay, you've got De Bayo, you've got Ethan Ampadu as well, potentially centre-back depth. I know it's on that right-hand side, but still you've got that. You look at someone like Dan James out, you've got Largi Ramazani, who can play on that right. You've got Willian Yonso, who can play on that right. Who comes into the centre, Connor, where you've still got there Brendan Aronson, you've got Joe Rothwell, you've got Tanaka, you know, as I've just said, and then you've got Yol Peru. You know, you've got a lot of players there who we can really fit in and around those attacking spaces. So I understand there might be tiredness. I understand we've got more internationals than Burnley, which is crazy to say when you look at the fact that they've just been demoted from the Premier League, but it's a good thing, you know, when you've got rotation with quality. Daniel Farke, and we've said this multiple times, he just has to get promoted with this team. You know, Somerville's gone, Rutter's gone, but as we've discussed on the podcast this week, especially over on the Patreon, the balance is now there with the squad. You're able to put certain players in certain positions. I mean, Joe Rothwell, he was speaking about Rothwell, and I know you guys know I'm a massive fan of him, but Rothwell's barely got any minutes. He's barely got any minutes. Is there something within his Bournemouth contract, who can't be happy with us, by the way, with what we minutes played for Jaden Anthony as well, but can you really put Joe Rothwell in that category? Are we ever going to see him you know, consistently for Leeds United, or is he just going to fall by the wayside as a few did last season in Jed Spencer for a period of time, Connor Roberts and obviously Jaden Anthony? I think he might fall short because Leeds have obviously brought in more bodies. Brendan Aronson's proven himself in that central space, and that's going to affect Joe Rothwell. But Joe Rothwell at this level is a fantastic footballer. I genuinely believe that. You know, Rothwell's career from when he was at Blackburn, he has been a top operator. You know, I remember Tony Mowbray said the sky was the limit for Rothwell. So I just feel he's not really been able to stamp his authority on the Southampton side and on that Leeds side. And do I think that's because of his ability? I don't. I just think it's the profile of player. You know, you look at Southampton, the 3 that they had in there, it was a little bit more based on athleticism and physicality, of which Rothwell is a runner, but I wouldn't say he's just got that 6'2" presence maybe that a Joe Aribo has in that central space and that constant running. I think Rothwell likes to get his foot on the ball and dictate the tempo. So I think it's a lot about profiles. You look at him with this particular squad that Leeds United have right now, he doesn't fit into the Gruev profile. I still see in a 4-2-3-1 system Rothwell playing a lot higher. And if I'm honest with you guys, I'd like to see Tanaka in that 10 as well. I really would. So, yeah, he was answering questions about Joe Rothwell, and yeah, that little conundrum's going to be really interesting to see how Leeds go about that. Because are we going to get another situation where another Bournemouth loanee barely gets any minutes? And Farke was saying today that, you know, Rothwell's a really good player, but he's just not been. Yeah, he's just not had his chance yet, and you know, I guess that is very much dictated by what Daniel Farke sees as, you know, as winning a game and winning a game in many states. You know, can you win a game defensively with Rothwell in there? I think you can. Can you play Rothwell and Groves together? Can you play a 4-3-3? You know, can you do that? That's been very pragmatic, of course it is, but you can. The winning the game in midfield is such a thing of you know, a football match. How you win a game is in midfield, in my opinion, and having a strong goalkeeper But there you go. Anyway, guys, that's been it from me. Let me know what you think in the comment section below anyway. Obviously, Daniel Farke's press conference, the Burnley game coming up. I've said it's going to be a 2-1 Leeds win. I said with Liam it'd be 1-1, but my heart's telling me 2-1. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. Head on over to www.oneleeds.com and yeah, have a check out on the Patreon as well. It's been a pleasure, guys. I'll see you in a bit.